really uncomfortable with the world right now. America is in a weird spot. Weird things are happening, and it's just, I don't feel safe. Just so you guys know, Cutie and I are not going to TwitchCon anymore.
Damn. What's Keemstar got to
Ladies
say?
and gentlemen, there's a conversation going on online about TwitchCon not being a safe place for females.
No, I don't. The chance of something happening inside of a TwitchCon where I think they have metal detectors on everything and like more security there than any other live event you're probably going to do. And I don't think I've ever heard of anything crazy happening at a TwitchCon. Yeah, I think they probably just don't want to go because it's not, there's no point in going.
Online about TwitchCon not being a safe place for females. And you have multiple female creators that are saying they're not going to TwitchCon this year. Asmon Gold said if he was a female, he would never go to TwitchCon. And that's based on safety concerns that these people are bringing up. I mean, we've seen it throughout the years, like just sexual harassment and deviant things that happens at these TwitchCons. And I wanted to share a story that takes us all the way back to like 2013, 2014, because before Twitch came out with TwitchCon, they did a test run for their TwitchCon by having these massive parties attached to PAX East or PAX West. And in 2013, 2014, I don't remember the exact year, at PAX West in Seattle, they had this massive Twitch party. This ain't no little thing. There's like 1,000 people there. It's a big facility. It was massive. It was like a mini TwitchCon. And I attended that event, and I was there with Seattle's own Only Use Me Blade, which is an old school Call of Duty YouTuber with a drinking problem. You know, Blade gets drunk and he acts like completely out of control. Now, a lot of times it's funny. Some other times it's absolutely horrible. And in this case, he got wasted pretty fast, and he was doing this thing where he'd go up to these girls at TwitchCon and go to shake their hand, and when they go to shake the hand back, he would take their drink, slam the drink, and give them an empty cup back. Now, most people just laughed because this is, you know, a Twitch party, it's open bar, the drinks didn't cost anything, and it was just like this funny thing, but definitely a dick move. Later that night, I couldn't find Blade. I Ubered back to my hotel, and the next morning, I found out Blade went to the hospital. And Blade didn't go to the hospital for drinking too much alcohol. Blade ended up in the hospital because he had multiple doses of roofies. He inadvertently, by being a jerk, saved a bunch of women from being raped.
What? This sounds like the most not true thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Wait, hold on. Is there a single story about this at the time in 2013, 2014? Is there an article or a tweet or anybody referencing it? There's no way somebody would keep this secret for 11, 12 years.
So these things aren't safe. They've never been safe. There are literally that go to these fucking things and prey on the women there. Just thought I should say, I can't speak, I'm getting tongue-tied. Made it all the way through this story without messing up what I was saying. But yeah, I just thought you guys should know that.
Okay. Pokimane, Valkyrae, and QTCinderalla afraid to attend TwitchCon due to safety concerns.
Thinking of canceling, and I feel like they're kind of scared. Just like the tension that is happening online, and of course we know that if we were to have any sort of safety issues, they're most likely to occur somewhere where like people know we're gonna be. So it does worry me that it might not be safe and maybe better to, I don't know, skip out on it. I think it's based, okay, here's the way I view it, especially with all the recent news surrounding Charlie Kirk. And of course, a lot of political talk happens on Twitter. And also for us, people like me, Ray, Cutie, other female streamers, the people who feel the most negative and most like passionately hateful towards us also tend to be on Twitter, and the streaming and Twitter community just have a lot of overlap. So sometimes it's just scary. And when you see that kind of negativity, you're like, do I want to tell people where I'm going to be in person? I actually don't know. Don't really like using Twitter too much because I don't, when I look at the replies, I'm like, who are these people talking to? I sure as hell don't think it's me. Like, I'm like, you guys are not my community. How do you even know me? Where you post a selfie, people start losing their shit. And then when your actual community comments, they get flamed from toxic peeps. How do you care? How do you hate someone enough to hate on people who like the person? Get a hot.
Wow. Kitty also noted that she considered dropping all her in-person obligations after a female Japanese streamer was attacked during a broadcast. This says attacked, and the story link says stabbed to death. Jesus.
But I'm just really uncomfortable with the world right now. Just so you guys know, Cutie and I are not going to TwitchCon anymore.
Damn.
We did back out, but we are going to make it up for you guys because we did have an on-stage whine about it in front of a live audience set. But I think we're going to do something else where maybe we do our first ever whine about it episode live on stream together. So we'll figure something out. But I'm just uncomfortable, you know? So it's just, yeah, understandable. Yeah, I hope you're all being safe as well. It's crazy times. Like crazy things are happening. I open up, see the news, and then I'm like, holy moly, what is happening? But yeah, other than that, it's too much traveling.
Nah, Danzy, I don't think so, man. Sorry, brother. I don't think so. And I wonder if you hold that,
He donated and said you ruined lives by gambling.
if you hold that sentiment consistent across Twitch, the very platform you defend. You don't need to ban the guy. I mean, he's spamming. Danzy, you don't need to spam. You can type it once. I'll read it. I'm not like these other streamers who create echo chambers and, you know, don't read things. I'll have a talk with you about it. I mean, Danzy, are you consistent? Do you go across Twitch? Do you look at what the stats are? Do you see that the most prevalent form of gambling and underage gambling and the most addictive form of gambling is sports betting, which has been normalized in America, which, by the way, has $1 billion deal with the very platform you sit here and side with? Do you hold your opinion consistent across all the TV you watch, across all the sports that sit there and post their affiliate codes of the casinos they sponsor with and actually encourage you to gamble? Do you hold it consistent? Or just type stupid shit in my chat? The person who's actually declined $1 billion, a billion with a B, by the way, declined it in order to keep it transparent and authentic. Does how I do it make it good? No, but it makes it better. The problem with the gambling world is everyone says it's bad, so they just justify doing it the worst way possible. I do it the best possible way. There is actually no better than the way.
I'm a woman and was thinking about streaming. Would you recommend it as a genuine try for a career or not really? Why would you preface this with, I'm a woman and thinking about streaming? Why would you say it that way?
So, if you're going to type stupid shit in my chat, I have no problem with that. If that's your opinion, that's fine. But at least hold it consistent to the platform you're typing on, hold it consistent to each streamer on the platform that you're typing on, and hold it consistent to every sports team you support on your weekends, drinking with your friends and laughing. You stupid, hypocritical pussy. Thank you.
Damn! If you guys want to try streaming, just start streaming and see how it goes. There's no way to predict it unless you try it a little bit. Right?
The Jewish people ought to be the most radicalized on earth because it was October the 7th.
They're Nazis. And they were Nazis before October 7th. And they became like a new version, like a super Nazi after October 7th. They were Nazis that were perfectly fine with like a slow burn version of ethnic displacement, ethnic cleansing, and ethnic supremacy. Post October 7th, they were like, okay, final solution time.
Okay.
I believe that liberalism is a right-wing ideology that seeks to...
Oh, this is the fake business
I'm a leftist. I believe that
lady that has some fucking single-member LLC that pretends to give hardcore business advice and like 90%
liberalism is a
of the shit she
right-wing
says is fucking
ideology that
retarded.
seeks to further the harm and exploitation of the most vulnerable people around the globe. I'm a liberal, and I think that's a really unfair characterization of my politics. Oh, I'm so sorry. What do you think I got wrong? Well, I don't think that liberalism is a right-wing ideology. I might not be a radical communist, but I have more in common with you than I do with, like, a Republican. I always thought you guys had similar policies, and the only real difference was how far you went and how you talked about them. Okay, that's ridiculous. Our policies are nowhere near the same as Republicans. Really? What about immigration? That's a great example. We love immigrants. We would never be doing, like, what Donald Trump is doing now with the ICE raids. I don't know. Donald Trump is literally using the border czar from the Obama administration. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, Trump literally sought him out because Obama had so many removals. We actually nicknamed him the deporter-in-chief when he was president. Okay, well, even if that's true, Donald Trump is doing way worse than the Democrats ever did. The last time I looked, his deportations were actually lower than the monthly average under Biden. That can't be real. Where'd you get that info from? The Migration Policy Institute? Okay, well, they're way worse deportations. I think we can agree on that. They're, like, really violent. Way more violent than they ever were under Obama. Yeah, that's true. ICE is clearly operating as a domestic Gestapo to terrorize people. But it's worth noting that Democrats raised the ICE budget absolutely every year they had a chance to as well. Look, I'm just saying Kamala never would have done this. Kamala literally campaigned on being tougher on the border than Donald Trump. She, like, bragged about it. Okay, fine. Maybe immigration isn't a great example. But what about, like, LGBTQ rights? I don't know. Biden signed the first federal anti-trans legislation in decades. Okay, so one misstep. Nobody's perfect, but...
What was the anti-trans legislation? Okay.
You know, the Democratic Party would definitely not be declaring open season on trans people the way the Republicans are right now. Maybe, but they also have made it clear that they would not stop Republicans from doing that, even at a state level. Like, in one interview with Fox News, Kamala Harris said she would follow the law as it came to gay and trans rights in a year where the most anti-trans legislation was introduced at a state level, like, ever. Well, maybe she was just, like, saying that. but she wouldn't actually do that. Maybe. I'm from California. She has a pretty wishy-washy record on supporting trans people out here. And right after the election, the Democratic Party was floating around the idea of just dropping defensive trans people and queer people altogether from their platform. Okay, well, what about foreign policy? Obviously, Trump is doing all sorts of bizarre and horrifying things in Venezuela. Do you really think Democrats would be doing this as well? Yes. I'm sorry, what? How can you just say yes like that? Obama literally did a drone strike at a wedding.
Wow.
Who hasn't done a drone strike at a wedding? Come on. Again, nobody's perfect. Hillary Clinton laughed when the leader of another country was sexually assaulted to death on camera. What about Palestine? The Democrats funded a genocide there. Like they did ethnic cleansing and then lied about working for a ceasefire. Okay, well, some of these things Democrats can't take a hard stance on because it would alienate their donor base of corporations and lobbyists and rich guys. Yeah, that's probably why more billionaires donated money to Kamala's campaign fund than to Donald Trump's. Like I said, you guys are just the nicer version of capitalism, which seeks to harm people around the globe while letting like 12 rich guys get richer.
Rage baited. Everybody, you all got rage baited.